Okay, so that brings us to the first demonstration, introducing the AdventureWorks databases. Here in SQL Server Management Studio, I have connected to the database engine, and we can see that I have the AdventureWorks 2008 R2 database here. And a quick exploration of tables, we see numerous tables from numerous schemas representing this OLTP data system. Not ideal for reporting from, except operational reports. Small transactional reports are okay, but generally analytic reports won't work well against the system. We don't want to interfere with what it's been designed to do, and that's to capture the operational data of the organization. And that's where an ETL process has been used to populate the data warehouse. And if we take a look at the tables here, we see some deliberate naming conventions. The prefix of dim here for dimension table and fact for fact table. So the dimension tables represent the business entities for AdventureWorks, while the fact tables represent the tables that store the facts that have occurred. Very strong clues that we have dimensional modeling going on here, and very much, in my opinion, the prerequisite if you're going to work with cubes. In Object Explorer, I've also connected to analysis services, and the databases here include the sample database, in addition to a database I've created called Sales Analysis. Inside the analysis services database, we have a cube called Reseller Sales. So I'm going to browse that cube, and that allows me to go ahead and query very quickly that cube, and I can discover that I have $80 million worth of sales, and I can slice and dice that by calendar years. And I could decide to pivot that. Let's put years across the columns. And my salespeople, I want to know, break that down by salespeople so I can see sales across years. And it really is that simple. A well-designed cube should expose an intuitive set of dimensions and hierarchies and measures that allow users to drag and drop to deliver the data they need to answer their questions. So the first part of the demonstration that introduces reporting is that I can right-click on a salesperson here, and there's an action defined in this cube that goes ahead and launches a report that shows me details about that employee. So here's a quick example of how we've got this integration between analysis services and reporting services, that cubes can include actions that allow us to right-click members from a dimension and launch reports and pass context into those reports. And we'll return to this report later on, but I think that's just a good starting point to show how reports can also support the way that cubes deliver data. Now, analysis services also delivers data mining capabilities. So I have a data mining model here called Target Mail DT. I'm going to browse this. We have a visualization that allows me to browse the patterns that are stored in this mining model. Now, it's used the decision trees algorithm, which is great for classification. And what we've trained the model to do is to understand the different customer demographics and how that relates to the bike buying process. So here I'm asking it to highlight the bike buyers. The decision tree discovered that the number of cars owned attribute was actually the strongest predictor of a bike buying decision. And the selection of 1 for the background is actually highlighting where the bike buyers are. So the more intensely shaded a node of this tree is, and that's where the bike buyers are. So if they don't own a car, there's a strong likelihood that they will buy a bike from us. In fact, when I hover over it, the tooltip is telling me that 1,900 people support this. And as we explore the tree, we then see that if you don't own a car and you come from the Pacific region, then there's a very strong chance that you would go ahead and buy a bike. And there's more to explore. It decided if you're less than 38 and come from the Pacific region and you don't own a car, then you're almost guaranteed. So why is this of interest to us? Well, the salespeople in your organization would be fascinated to see data presented to them in this way. And I want you to appreciate the fundamentals of what this model has to store and tell us, and then we'll see in a later demonstration that reporting services can also report directly off this model and present this data to us using its capabilities.